Speak sponsored by rxcardclub.com. Get a free prescription drug card and save up to 85% on prescription drugs. rxcardclub.com. Hundreds of kids forced into quarantine as measles outbreaks spread. Break-in number 148. Health officials in several states are battling new measles outbreaks that have forced hundreds of unvaccinated students into quarantine. Break in northwestern South Carolina. 153 unvaccinated children are under a 21-day quarantine after exposure to the virus in Greenville and Spartanburg counties, according to state health officials. Break in Minnesota. Another 118 students in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area are quarantining after being exposed to a separate outbreak. The quarantines mean 3 weeks of remote learning as families monitor for symptoms such as fever, rash, cough and red, watery eyes. And number 156, communities are having to bear the price of quarantining so many children, and number 157, Michael Osterholm, director of the University of Minnesota Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy, told NBC News. The South Carolina Department of Public Health said one new case in Greenville County had no known connection to the 7 cases in neighboring Spartanburg County. And number 156, what this new case tells us is that there is active, unrecognized community transmission of measles occurring, and number 157, Dr. Linda Bell, South Carolina's state epidemiologist, told NBC News. 2 schools and number 148, 1 elementary and 1 K and number 147 12 charter school and number 148, have reported cases, she said. Unvaccinated students who were exposed must remain out of school for 3 weeks, the time it can take for symptoms to appear. And number 156, those measures will help us be effective in preventing the spread of measles virus in those schools and in our communities, and number 157, Bell added. Vaccination rates in the affected South Carolina counties remain below the 95% threshold needed for herd immunity, according to NBC News. Rates for the measles, mumps, rubella, MMR, vaccine are 90% in Spartanburg County and 90.5% in Greenville County. In Minnesota, officials have confirmed 20 cases so far this year. Will less than speak greater than Utah and Arizona are managing a multi-state outbreak with more than 100 infections near their shared border. Utah has reported 14 additional cases in other regions. Local school leaders have warned families about the risks but have left the decision to stay home up to parents. Nationally, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has confirmed 1,563 measles cases in 2025 as of October 7, with most linked to domestic spread, not travel. The United States had eliminated measles in 2000, but falling vaccination rates have allowed the virus to resurface. Further, an NBC News analysis found that childhood vaccination rates have declined in more than 3/4 of U.S. counties since 2019, and 67% of states lack enough coverage for herd immunity. If current outbreaks continue through January, the country could lose its measles elimination status, federal officials warn. Sources NBC News, October 10, 2025. Disclaimer, statistical data in medical articles provide general trends and do not pertain to individuals. Individual factors can vary greatly. Always seek personalized medical advice for individual healthcare decisions. And copy, 2025 Health Day. All rights reserved. Ad as a preferred source on Google. Read this next. Dear college students, essential tips to avoid getting sick on campus. And number 148, the college experience is a whirlwind of late nights, crowded dorms and shared spaces. And number 148, a perfect storm for germs. Getting sick can get in the 6 Surgeons General Fire editorial grenade at RFK Jr. Breaking number 148, in a blistering opinion piece published Tuesday in the Washington Post, 6 former U.S. Surgeons General said Health and Human Services Secretary. Break interim CDC chief calls for separate MMR shots. Breaking number 148, the acting head of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, is calling on vaccine makers to create separate measles, mumps and break more news resources to MedWatch Drug Alerts Daily Med News for health professionals new drug approvals new drug applications drug shortages clinical trial results generic drug approvals subscribe to our newsletter. Break whatever your topic of interest, subscribe to our newsletters to get the best of drugs.com in your less than /speak inbox, rxcardclub.com. Get a free prescription drug card and save up to 80% on prescription drugs. Less than /speak.